Welcome to the Bedlam podcast, a place of uproar and confusion. We're here, as always, for episode 6 with me, Tom Harrison, and this little ginger goblin,
I
Callum.
may be a ginger goblin, but believe me, there's nothing little about me.
From your penis.
All right, there's no need to fucking go there so early in the pod.
Well,
Seconds in.
we may have missed last week due to other commitments, i.e., paid jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, hello, welcome. How are you, Callum? Are you all right?
No, yeah, just spilling my drink all down myself, no worries. Yeah, no, I'm good, mate. I'm gonna be honest, I'm fresh out of bed. It's 12:43 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's not even a Wednesday, on a Tuesday.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. It's fine.
We tried to make a plea deal, didn't we? But it didn't go down well.
It didn't work.
Can we do Wednesday or Thursday instead?
No, get up. Okay, fine. No,
Yeah,
well, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I've had a fun week and a fun weekend. Ended in wedding drama and police.
Okay, sounds much
Oh,
more interesting than my weekend.
a staff member's been renamed Mike Tyson, and yeah,
Right, brilliant, really good.
but just people listening. Staff member didn't throw the punch.
Oh, right, that's probably a good thing for professionalism and keeping your dog,
Yeah.
keeping your job in general.
If any of my general manager or any other managers of any other department are listening, I'm not saying that our staff member hit a member of the public.
We're also not suggesting that it happened at that workplace. You could have been somewhere else entirely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. How was your trip to Las Vegas this weekend?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
absolutely fantastic. It is
oh,
brilliant.
you went
Um,
blurry there for a minute.
yeah, it's brilliant. It's just gutting that I got the wrong weekend for the Formula One though. So
Yeah, but yeah. Oh well. I mean, the same thing, similar things have been happening at my work. I don't like when there's a crossover between work and outside of work, and that happened the other day. A woman that we've banned from the shop for being incredibly violent and trying to steal things, and then when she's caught trying to steal things, just pulling things off shelves. Right. The police have been called on this woman twice. She has been
no, it
arrested.
wasn't me. It was my twin.
She's been arrested outside the shop twice, right? When the police first came to deal with her shit, they were like trying to get her details because she wouldn't tell us her details or anything. And
Right.
they got her name, and then they went, "Oh yeah, 119 registered addresses."
What the?
Oh, what the fuck? Anyway, so I thought, right, the next time they take her away, no worries. I'm probably not going to see her again. You'd be daft to come back, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh,
Because I finished work the other day. I'm on the bus home because I can't drive yet because I'm a peasant. And there she is on the bus home with me. Does she recognize me? I think so, because she spent the entire 20-minute bus ride staring at me. Didn't say a word, just stepped like this.
that's because you're fit, mate.
I don't want whatever she's selling. I really don't.
I'm not telling anything.
I've
No,
got
she's
some
not going to tell
chocolate.
you. She's going to expect you just to steal it.
There was an
Come
old
here, love.
woman. There was an old woman on the bus the other morning, right? And another well-known shoplifter was on the bus. She got off at the same stop I got on. Honestly, they just operate in the same place, so you see them all the time. But this old woman started talking to me. He's like, "Oh, just finished your shift, dearie." Like, yeah, just finished. Pretty knackered, to be honest with you. Like, this woman's just given me some chocolate, but I think she's pinched it. Why? Is it because she said she was diabetic and she had a bag full of chocolate? Why would you have it if you're diabetic? It's like, fair enough.
I don't understand the logic behind it. You've stolen it to go sell it to make money to go get your crack,
Yeah,
but then you're giving it to an old dear.
yeah. And this old woman, oh, so cute. She was just like, I don't really want it. Is there a bin at your bus stop where you get off that you could put it in for me, please? It's like, yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll take these fence stolen goods off your hands.
I'll take it back and put it on my shelf to sell properly.
Probably no issue buying pirate DVDs down the pub, but chocolate's a bridge too far.
Yeah. Oh, hello, love. Do you want these as well? No, 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 no.
No. Oh, is it
No, they're not
Titanic?
mine.
Oh, I might then, yeah.
Yeah. Ah, do you know, does anyone ever say to you that you've done a fucking good job because everyone else has been sat on their asses doing nothing?
Um, not if I haven't done a good job.
No, but I have done a good job. I've been able to cut the concrete costs on schools, so then they've got no money to left to spend. I'm really happy. And then all of a sudden, now I'm Prime Minister, these schools are falling down, and it's got fuck all to do with me. It's not my fault. It's not my fucking problem.
Yeah. Gillian Keegan Esquire.
What's that
The
fucking knobhead?
she's whoever is, I don't know, what would you call it? It's not even jobs for the boys anymore. It's
Bitch.
she's whoever the education secretary is this week in the lottery.
This week, it lasts longer than 2 days.
Well, some cases, if you're especially corrupt at what you do, then they'll keep you on.
So if your name's Grant Shapps, you can get 6 jobs a year and still claim benefits.
And you can tell people that you're an expert in each of those individual jobs, having not had any experience in any of them.
That's fuck all about him.
That's fuck all about them. Brilliant, isn't it?
Jesus
Brilliant.
Christ. Oh,
Brilliant.
what a shit show.
Welcome to year 13 of Conservative Britain. How are you finding it so far?
Um, depressed. Um, I don't know.
You know what's happening though, don't you? Like if you go right back to Cameron, yeah? Do you remember David Cameron?
Who's that again? Oh, is he the one that fucked the pig?
Pig, yeah, pig, yeah.
Oh, got
Yeah, that
you.
one. Yeah. Right. If you remember David Cameron, right? He came in with George Osborne, the fucking looks like he eats asparagus for fun. That sort of guy. Right. um they came in after the whole New Labour thing. Labour's longest term in government, and it was, whatever. They came in and they thought, right, how do we make the most money in the shortest amount of time? Because we don't think we're going to be here for that long. And now we're
Yeah.
13 years down the track. We're still in these money saving
And they've still
initiatives.
not made anything.
We're losing money, but now the chickens are starting to come home to roost because these money saving measures are now falling apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Get these fucking Labour back in.
I will come on to the recent yesterday's reshuffle because I think it's good for Labour, as Jeremy Corbyn used to say. Good for Labour. Bosh,
Oh,
tell
Jesus.
me your best government laddie. Go on. But yeah, we're in a point now where schools are falling down. The immigration is, I can't really use the phrase "dead in the water," but it is. Everything else is ruined. We had the Rwanda thing. Brexit's been a disaster. What else? Fucking hell! Pick from any number of.
But what I don't understand is, right, you've gone out to do a referendum on Brexit because that's what the people of the United Kingdom wanted. You have effectively given the people their choice of following it through. Then you turn around and go, actually, I don't want to do this no more. And you step back, and then about 5, 6, 7 prime ministers later, you still not got it.
The problem is, right? You step out of Cameron, who didn't want to do the referendum in the first place, but it was the will of the people and all that. It was like, yeah, we'll do it. And nobody had the foresight to think, if his side loses this, he's just going to go.
Right.
And his side lost. So he went. And everyone went, oh, we didn't see that coming. Fuck knows how. And then you get Theresa May, who was a Remainer.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to push any of it through. She was just happy to go to Europe and they'll be like, yeah, and someone's allowed to come over to Dover every week and take a shit on someone's lawn. That's just one of the rules. You know, we're going to put that in. And Theresa May have been like, yeah, no worries. Yeah, great. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Top one, boys. Yeah, great. Had that. And then she got sacked or resigned or whatever, however we're spinning it. And then, Christ, Boris, get Brexit done.
I'm going to give you a new blue passport.
Yeah, and for all his faults, he really did want to do it. The problem was everyone in Brussels thought that he was a wanktard.
I think out of all the prime ministers that we've had, the only person that has properly like cared as much as we slate him and shit like that, Boris Johnson actually went out and got the job done. Yeah, okay, it took him a little while to do it because of the amount of seats that he had when he first took over, but he managed. He went out with his new mandate when we had that general election, and he got the seats that he needed to be able to push it through. Yeah, he still struggled to push it through, but he still got the job done. And if it wasn't for all of his incidents during lockdown and stuff like that, then he'd probably still be in charge. But shit happens, and we've just got to basically we've just got to roll over and let his bellies get tickled because although it is a democracy, we don't have a choice in this.
We don't. And I've heard it's been sort of quietly brushed under the rug thanks to recent educational facility crumbling down, killing children events, that letters of no confidence are already going in against Rishi Sunak, right? And that is good if you don't like Rishi Sunak. It's also good if you don't like Labour, because what's going to happen? We're just going to get another one of these unelected prime ministers.
I just think it's now getting to that point where you've not got a person that's got a proper mandate that's going to take the country forward, to take the Conservatives forward. And everyone, I think it's been shown in all the recent by-elections and stuff like that, the Conservatives are not good for the United Kingdom, and that we need a little bit of something different to just freshen it up a little bit. Let Labour be in charge for a couple of years, or even so, let the Green Party have a go.
Yeah.
But, I think it's just time now just to call that general election and just rebuild the Conservative Party without being in charge of the country and just let Labour do what they want to do.
I mean, I think Labour know that. So they had their mini reshuffle yesterday, promoted the people that should be promoted. Yeah. It's now it's now in a position where they can say, like, look, we're a government waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Where all the people are in all the positions where if a general election was called tomorrow and Labour would win, they'd be able to neatly transition. There'd be no like, who's going to get this job? They all know what jobs they've got. They all know where they're going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and not got Grant Shapps in charge of every other job going that then was... turns around and goes, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing with this job. I'll give it a go.
My affiliations are well known and well documented, right? There are a few Tories that I quite like. Ben Wallace, the former Defence Secretary, was one of them.
Yeah, no, Ben Wallace was really good.
He knew what he was on about. He knew what he was doing. He was sensible, good for defence, right? Yeah. What you need.
Yeah.
Penny Mordaunt, right? Knows what she's talking about, knows what she's doing, and can hold a sword for long periods of time.
I think if Penny Mordaunt had become prime minister, I think that would have ruined her.
It would, but I think she'd make a really good leader of the opposition.
Yeah,
I think that's what they should do. If Labour win the election, put her as leader of the party, right? Because she'd be
yeah,
really good at telling Labour all the things they're doing wrong.
yeah. But I think it's like when you go through so many people, in like prime ministers in your cabinet and stuff like that, you sort of lose that thing of people knowing what they're doing, and it's just you've just lost your way a little bit, and you're sort of coming into something. It's just like who was it that was it Rishi Sunak that said that, oh, we're going to deliver on the mandate that we originally put out under Boris Johnson.
Yeah,
And it's just like, but that's not
it's not
yours,
yours. Yeah,
that's Boris Johnson's.
yeah,
And we're now past that point of the reason why people voted for Boris Johnson in the first place was to get Brexit done, because that's the thing that we voted for. And we were sick and tired of all the people that were like back and forth going, oh, yeah, are we going to get it done or are we not going to get it done? Boris Johnson was right to the point and just says, we're going to get it done. Labour said, we'll have another referendum. And then was it Lib Dems that turned around and says, we're going to not go forward with the referendum, and then in a few years' times we'll have another one just in case.
yeah. So Labour were like, right, if we got elected, this was back when things were a shambles with Brexit. They have since changed the position. So Labour said we would have another referendum because we think that there was a lot of bollocks on both sides, essentially.
There was a lot of hidden agendas behind it, wasn't there? Really,
Well,
and
there's a lot of like, well, the biggest thing, the bus, £350 million to the NHS. That was a lie. That was
yeah,
just
they spent
that
three
was
hundred
just
and
a
fifty million on the bus.
that was just a lie. There was that money doesn't exist.
No,
But it was they needed everything they could to try and get as much momentum as possible. Whereas the Remain side were very much just telling it how it was, and it wasn't enough.
yeah,
So Labour said we'd have another referendum in which we would tell people the truth. And then they changed it and it was like, right, okay, fair enough. We won't do that. We'll keep with we've done it now. They've done it now. There'll be no point going back to Europe. And the Lib Dems are still very much, I'd put us back in. We'd put us back in.
yeah,
We're better off back in.
yeah. I think now that we've done it and we've left, if as soon as we went in, we're just going to get fucked over anyway. It's almost like football. Like Newcastle have all these billions to spend on players, and they're going to go in and they're going to go, right, I want that player for 5 million. Well, no, I know you've got a billion, so you're going to take 50 million.
So there's two sides to it. I think if we rejoin now, we'd be in a weaker position for maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But then Europe would realize that how big a player we are in terms of trade and export and things like that.
Yeah, but it's always been that thing of we are one of the biggest traders in Europe and the world. You know, you could effectively, without the European Union, you could create these deals without having that there, and then it allows you to trade with all the other countries, such as like get a better deal with America and Australia and stuff like that as well as. So you just have to deal with the people that the European Union deal with.
Which is true. However, we haven't done that.
No, but you could. I mean, the way that I thought it would go would you'd you'd keep that sort of bridge with the European Union, because if you still put in so much money into the European Union, although not as much as what it used to be, but a little bit enough, and you can still have that free trade and that free passage of people between England and the European Union. And then it allows you to have the Scottish government do what they want to do, Welsh government and Irish government, Northern and Republic. And then it allow you then to go and make your own trade deals with all these other countries. And then obviously everyone would be able to have the same hand and feed from the same hand. But it's not gone like that because people have gone, oh, yeah, money. My wage has gone up this year by £350 million. I've got 3 houses that I don't pay tax on. And I've been in this role for 3 weeks and I can claim a pension from that. And I'll get £150,000 a year for the rest of my life, even if I don't do a good job.
It reminds me very much of the when Oasis won an award. Noel Gallagher came out and did like a clip. It was like, so you've done this, this, and this. Is it enough? Is it enough for you? And I'm gonna I'll find the clip and I'll put it in the video version of this.
You know, you say this every single week and they never fucking do.
I'll do it with this one because it's important. Because it sounds exactly like what you have just said. It's like worryingly close to it.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got £87 million in the bank. I've got a Rolls Royce. I've got 3 stalkers. I'm about to go on the board at Manchester City. I'm part of the greatest band in the world. Am I happy with that? No, I'm not! I want more!
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're in a cost of living crisis. All these people are losing money because everything's going up. And these people that we haven't even put and haven't even elected into the country to look after the country are running it into the ground. And all these people are losing the jobs because all these companies are going under. Even the councils are now going under, which is not great. And it's just like, where's the end of the rope? Where is the end of the line? Because I can't see it ever coming, and everyone's just going to be redundant, not have a job, are going to be claiming benefits, and just the whole of the United Kingdom is just going to come to a standstill with all this money. And unemployment is going to go up, and then it's going to end up changing hands back to Labour, and then Labour going to go, oh, we've got the lowest employment rate, and then blah, 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 and then having to put it up again, the same bollocks that fucking Conservatives kept spinning during COVID and this, that, and other. What's the COVID numbers? Well, we have the highest employment rate in the world. Go fuck yourself. It's got nothing to do with that.
Unemployment rate versus the actual people in jobs is not the same thing. They're trying to spin it like it is.
It's just absolute full-on bollocks.
If you have 20% of 100 people in jobs, that's 20. They can say that as like we have the highest rate, whatever. But that 100 people isn't indicative of an entire country. If you have 20% of 63 million people in jobs, that's a lot lower, but it's still 20%.
It's all like these surveys and stuff like that, and it's like you see him on TV and goes, "Oh, well, out of all these people that we interviewed," and he goes, "I've never been approached. I've never had a radar diary. I've never been interviewed by Sky News. I've never been interviewed by BBC News. I've never had my opinion come forward into the local paper, let alone the fucking international paper. So how do you know that my opinion is the same as all the people you've interviewed from London?"
Yeah, exactly. Just going back to what you're saying about councils going bankrupt, right? That is something that it has happened before, right? And the government will come out and say, oh, this is really, really, really bad, right? And this is the fault of the people running the council, right? Yeah. And I don't know if Birmingham Council is Labour or not, but if it is, you can guarantee that Rishi Sunak will be like, another Labour council failing the people, right? What it is that a council has been squeezed so hard by central government through austerity and cost cutting and budgets. They've had to make really terrible decisions. And the money's gone. And the effect that will have on people already struggling is massive. So, where was it? Somewhere near London, I think it's Slough. Their council went bankrupt. Council tax went up 10%.
Right.
a 10% increase in council tax to people that already can't pay the bills.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? It's just going to self-perpetuate more problems.
It's just all about using your head and stuff like that. It's like the last episode was spoken about like school teachers and stuff like that getting pay rises and people in the front of stuff. It's just like, but where's this money going to come from? Like, because people like me and you, we already pay enough. So you're not going to be taking more money from us to be able to fund for your actions, because it's not our fault that all these people are wanting pay rises and stuff like that. You know, it's your mismanagement that has effectively turned around and says, no, sorry, we don't have no more budget for you, so you can't have that 50p pay rise. You know, and it's just shit. It's like I don't understand why they keep reaching out to the people of putting taxes up and stuff like that. Well, why don't they put their taxes up? Why don't they turn around and go, well, I've just got £150,000 pay rise from being a politician doing sweet fuck all. I'm going to stand here every single Wednesday in Parliament and moan and complain every single week that my people cannot pay for the things that they used to be able to pay for. Why not just turn around and go, oh yeah, hang on a second, I'm going to give so much money of my own pay to my people so they can afford to go out and do what they want to do. These people that are in Parliament do sweet fuck all every single week, and then everyone's kicking off and shit like that about it, and then you've got Prime Minister and stuff like that. They're going, well, it's not my issue. It's not my problem. I didn't do fuck all.
Yeah. Well, look at like it's come out this morning because everyone's now looking at Birmingham and going, oh, fuck, that's pretty bad. 190 councils in England are on the brink of bankruptcy.
Yeah, so it's this section 114, isn't it? It's something to do with you get put under this section, and then everything that you're already paying for is the only things that you are allowed to actually pay for, and you can't have any more or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. Like, look at, Christ, you look at MPs, right, and what their remit is, what their job is.
Yeah.
Their job, when you boil it down, is to represent the views and the issues of their area. Now, that way back when would have been somebody from the area, because that makes sense. Now, you've got people just plonked in to what they would call safe seats to win them. Barry Shearman for Huddersfield, right?
Yeah.
The man is not from Huddersfield. He spends more time focusing campaigns on things in London. He's been to Huddersfield 4 times this year. It's September.
I've been to Huddersfield more than that.
Yeah. So have I, and I don't even live there anymore.
Birmingham is a Labour-run council, and it's the largest local authority in Europe, comprising of 101 councillors, 65 for Labour, 22 for Conservative, 12 Liberal Democrats, and 2 Greens. Birmingham City Council has issued a Section 114 notice as part of the plans to meet the council's financial liberties relating to equal pay claims and in-year financial gap within its budget, which currently stands in the region of £87 million. So the 114 notice is basically confirming that all new spending, with the exemption of protecting vulnerable people and statutory services, must stop immediately.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Kirklees Council are on the brink of going bankrupt as well, which means by extension, all the new things that they're trying to put into the town centre. I don't know if you've heard of the Huddersfield bid, right?
Have you heard of all the Dewsbury stuff that they're supposed to be doing as well?
Yeah, it's the same. It's just under the same umbrella of regenerating these post-industrial towns, things like that. They're supposed to be putting loads of money in. If the council goes bankrupt, all that stops. It just stops halfway through.
Do you know the funniest thing? So, one of the things that Dewsbury was supposed to be doing is reimaginating the market And the way that they thought about doing this was by getting porta cabins, no, not metal cabin, um, containers, metal containers, and using those as like little porta cabins. So they're all colourful, look absolutely fantastic, blah blah blah. We've had those porta cabins sat in a car park at the back of a car park in Dewsbury Town Centre for the last 2, 3, 4 years, and none of it's happened yet. So we've got them, but they've not been put in yet.
Yeah. Look at what happened with the what the fuck's it called? The market in Huddersfield, right? The same thing, right? The indoor market. The building itself won awards for the architecture because it was the first like concrete roof that had shit in it. I don't know if I can find a picture, I'll find it to explain what I mean. It's got like a certain type of roof, and it's like a listed building. It's really, really cool, right? A couple of years ago, they started saying, right, we're gonna close it, and everyone put up a shitstorm. And I was like, you can't. It's a listed building. What the fuck are you doing? What about all the people that work in there? There's market stalls that have been there for years and years, since the 50s. Family businesses that need that money to live. What are they going to do? So the council said, right, okay, we'll leave it open for now. We'll have a public consultation. They had one. Everyone said, don't close it. But what they didn't put in the consultation was about the businesses. So what they've done is they've moved the businesses out of the market. They've moved them out, or in some cases, the businesses have closed.
Yep.
And they came up with this big plan. It's going to be like a music concert space. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be brilliant. It now sits entirely empty.
Absolutely.
What a waste of time.
Yeah. What waste of time? What waste of money?
Hate it.
It's like one thing that I always remember, because I grew up in Morley on the outskirts of Leeds, and there were a couple of years where it went through big, massive, like crime sort of shit, like banks were getting done over, coupons are getting done over, Greggs were getting done over, and
sorry, Greggs.
Like, yeah.
Give us your pasties, you sponge.
The way that Greggs used to operate was all the money that they had received during the day never got collected on a daily basis, so they just used to put it into the back.
Right.
And someone found this out and decided to break the back door down and take all the money from the business. So everywhere we're getting done, but because everywhere we're getting done, they had to increase the security and stuff like that. So Leeds City Council or Morley Town Council, whoever runs that part, put the business leases up. So then all these companies and all these little companies and new starters and stuff like that couldn't actually afford to rent these buildings. So then you've just got loads of empty buildings and a town that's dying because all it is just a charity town, and you've got no one there at all. And it's just like, how do we bring people back to Morley? And it's just like, put the rental prices down, but we can't do that because of security and because of recent break-ins and stuff like that. It's just like, well, I think your hands are a little bit tied then, aren't you? Because you're not going to be able to go, oh, come here, let's start this building up, but you do have to pay so much money a month to me so I can protect your company. Oh, well, that's not going to work for me, is it? Because I'm not going to earn that, and I'm not going to have a really good turnover at the end of it. So
it's like, it reminds me a little bit of like what Manchester's doing now. They're so focused, right, on building up the city centre to be the next London. It's been touted as the London of the North. It's going to be a centre for finance for the country and like all this really good shit. And you think, right, brilliant, but you're building a new rail line between London and Manchester so that all the people that work in London can move up to Manchester. That's putting the rent prices up, right? And it's pricing out the people that already live here.
Yeah.
Look, right, for this room in this house that I share, which is a terraced house in quite a shithole area, right? I pay £580 a month for,
What, just
and
you alone, or
yeah,
you and your housemates pay
no, just me
500?
alone.
Right.
Hello, plus £90 council tax,
Fuck. It's a
right?
lot of money.
It's a lot of money. For that money, because we're moving out in summer, so I've been looking at like going back to Huddersfield maybe. For the amount of rent, or maybe even less that I pay here, you can get a 2-bedroom terraced house
Yeah.
for yourself.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
And you're just like, obviously you're going to pick that. Obviously people are being priced out of the big cities because they want these flash cockneys to come up on the new rail line and commute to
think
London and commute
so.
into Manchester.
As we're coming to the end of this section, I one thing I just want to put in. So I was having a look at moving to Jersey not Jersey, Guernsey a couple of years ago, and Guernsey have this thing where if you are a resident of Guernsey and have lived there for more than like 5 years, you have one housing market. But if you've never lived there and you're moving there, you have another housing market. And if you've lived there for a long time, you get cheaper rates and cheaper prices on houses and rentals and stuff like that. Whereas if you are moving to the area, you pay more expensive sort of stuff. But if you've lived there for so if you've moved there and you've lived there for 5 years, then you can go onto the other housing market. And I think that's should be what happens with the UK in total. So let's say if you're relocating, say, from London to Manchester, like you have, like, say, I don't know, a 25-mile radius around where you live or where you have grown up. Within that 25-mile radius, you have your local residency. And then if you are moving out of that 25-mile radius, then you have like a countrywide one. Basically, if you're going to relocate, you have to pay higher prices, higher mortgage, this, blah, 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 blah. So then the people that already live there are not getting priced out.
Yeah.
And you've got basically like the like when you go for a job, you can't show like a difference between whites and blacks and stuff like that. You have to consider both arguments and choose the best option. And the best option should be to look after the local people that are in there. But as we are coming to the end of this section, I think it's fine to say the Conservatives need to leave and Labour need to come back in charge and take us forward.
Here, bloody here.
Well, welcome back to part 2 of the Bedlam podcast. Hopefully, you've all managed to go get yourself a cup of tea to listen to this second part. Well, as some fans of football may know, that the transfer window closed the other day, and one of the big, massive, major talking points was Mason Greenwood coming out and saying that he didn't do anything, but then turned around and says, I need to leave Manchester United to better my career and prove to the people that I'm a good person. Well, what happened, Callum?
He has moved on loan to Getafe in Spain, right? Couple of major talking points. I'll get the football one out of the way first because there's much more serious things to consider here. However, Manchester United made out that they'd parted company with Mason Greenwood, right? A very good PR move for them until he moves on loan, right? If he moves on loan, that means that he is still a Manchester United player. He is on loan at Getafe from Manchester United. So they hadn't parted company with him at all, had they?
And are they not paying 50% of his wages as well?
They will, yeah. But when they released their statement that said we parted company with him, it was for best for the club and best for the player, they were still paying his wages. And they were still paying his wages up until deadline day when this move was agreed. And now they're only paying 50%.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big, massive question mark. And it's just, I think it's one of those things of, Do people deserve a second chance if you've been if the criminal charges have been dropped?
Now, we're having a conversation about this, right? And in the eyes of the law, he is innocent, but he's not.
No.
Because the eyes of the law, the letter of the law is that you will present evidence and the prosecution will follow. The only reason that prosecution hasn't followed was because the family of the victim and the victim herself decided to drop the charges. Now, be that because they were, I'm not going to throw any wild accusations out here, but it seems as though there was some conversations between both sides, and whether money was exchanged or things were said, it may have made them drop the case. Justice was not done.
I'm going to throw my opinion out there. And obviously, we know that who the said victim is, and everyone knows that Mason Greenwood has now started a family with this said victim. Could that be the major moving point to not press charges?
Yeah. Most probably.
I think all of them have come together and probably thought this wasn't meant to happen, because apparently, when it came out, the victim did say that they had been hacked and that these images and videos weren't supposed to be released. But I think otherwise. I think a big, massive argument has happened, and the victim has turned around and says, I just post them out there because, she can.
Yeah.
And then obviously not thought about the consequences, whether it was a drunken mistake to post them out or something like that. I think it all ties back into the whole fact of when people actually are in this state where they have been raped or something sexual or no consent given and stuff like that has happened to them, that when they see in the eyes of the law, not in the eyes of the law, but in the papers and stuff like that, that things that charges have been dropped and stuff like that, it just stopped these victims from coming out and saying, this is what's happened to me. It just puts them off. And I think the victim made a bad mistake putting it out there, saying that, yes, it was Mason that did it, more like without saying it in black and white, but saying Mason did it and then saying no, Mason didn't do it, and then Mason coming out saying no, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. It just makes it look a bit shit.
Yeah, I mean it's a strange one, isn't it? Because if she was hacked, surely a lot of things. Normally, when someone's hacked, they don't just release 2 clips.
No.
And if she was hacked, either the hacker knew what they were looking for,
Yeah.
in which case, how could they have known?
Yeah.
Or she wasn't hacked at all.
I think it's the latter.
I agree. But so now he's moved to Spain and he's getting a really good reception out there, which is unsettling to me because of the reception that he's got in England.
I really don't know what to say on this. I know a couple of weeks ago, me and Karen spoke about this, and we said, "Shall we talk about Mason Greenwood?" And we both said, "No," because we both really do not know what to say about this. Because in life, people do deserve second chances, but in this case, I don't think they do.
No, it all comes down to where you draw the line. But I think that the point I'm making on this is less that he's back playing football, because quite frankly he shouldn't be. Everyone knows that, but for whatever reason he is, and more that we're in a situation where the morals have moved outside of football so much that a club now is only doing things in order to save how they look to their sponsors and how they look to the people putting the money up to fund the football club. Manchester United knew it would look terrible if they kept him, so they said that they were going to part ways with him, but they haven't. But they've tried to push it under the rug.
It must just be a Manchester United thing, this thing that's coming out of Anthony now.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
It's crazy.
It's such a footballing nightmare.
But yeah, talking about people that weren't supposed to be in the places of where they claimed they were supposed to be. Do you remember that guy in whenever it was 2006 that went for a job interview at the BBC and ended up on BBC News?
I do. I remember. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah, he's planning on suing the BBC, and he's planning on suing the BBC because of the lack of royalties that he received from the big massive amount of internet sensation stardom thing that he received.
You don't get royalties for going viral.
Well, I mean,
what does he want? A cut of people's license fee?
I've just seen what his name is, and it just tickled me.
Oh God! Oh no!
He's called Guy Gomer. I just instantly I had to stop myself from saying Guy Coma. But yeah, if you don't remember, this is the guy that walked into a BBC for a job interview for a data cleanser in 2006 and ended up confusing him for an IT journalist called Guy Keeney, who had been booked to speak on the subject of the trademarking rights for music industry, and he just had no idea what the hell was going on.
Didn't he say that he thought it was part of the interview process or something?
Oh, I don't really know. I just remember his face just being there, and he's just like, I don't think I'm here for that.
But I don't understand what he's trying to get out of it, because the BBC wouldn't obviously, what are you suing them for? Because the royalties, you wouldn't get you don't get paid for appearing on the news.
It says they've been using it for nearly 20 years with no penny to me. When I see that they are paying people millions here and there, that clip made them richer. And that he's taken them to court because he received no royalties.
Right. I mean,
he added that he was considering writing a book called The Wrong Guy.
I quite like that. You know what? You've seen an opportunity and you've taken it.
Yeah, absolutely. Seize the opportunity. Yeah. No, I think it was hilarious.
That's brilliant. No, in fairness, like, although I don't agree that he should get any money, if I was in the same position, I'd probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah, be in the same position, but I don't think he should get anything for it, because it's not realistic. Like, they've taken one of his ideas and started selling it and making money from it.
Yeah, I mean, but in fairness, you could have gone the other way, gone on pretending to be an IT journalist, being really good at it, and then they just keep going to him for being an IT, no experience in journalism or IT. Yeah. You just bullshit your way through it, and they start paying you to come on.
If you've been paid to accidentally appear on the BBC News, then I think that's where the case is settled. You've been paid for it, so you don't deserve anything else. You don't deserve any royalties because you've not effectively had anything apart from just being paid for it. But you are not a big, massive public name and figure, so you don't have any image rights. If you had image rights there, then yeah, okay, maybe there was a case there against it. But because you don't. You don't. Oh, okay. Well, I think should we stay on the topic of things in places they shouldn't be?
Oh God, I think I know where you're going with this.
Did you see about the police in the US state of Nebraska responded to a bizarre emergency call?
Oh, it's the US, so it could be any one of a million things that have happened here.
Well, normally, if you've got a dog and you're going out to the seaside or something like that, it sits on the passenger seat. But if you have, if you have a bull as a pet, how are you going to get that on your passenger seat? Oh, I know. We'll take half of the windscreen out, half of the roof out, and we'll build a little bit of a makeshift thing to keep the bull inside the car. And the police pulled it over.
My first initial question that's really jumping out at me here is why do you have a bull as a pet?
It just makes me laugh that the car has horns on the front of the car as well as on top of the bull. But that's a
It's like
massive fucking bull.
it's like they've turned it into like a pub mobile. You know, that van that he sits in the back of, and it's like glass all around it so that people can see him when he's going through places, but he doesn't actually have to move. It's just like it's a bullmobile.
It makes me laugh. It goes, Norfolk Police Captain Chad Remain said officers quickly located the modified Ford Crown Victoria sedan. Well, did you? Because it's the only fucking one riding with a bull
With a
shotgun.
massive bull in it.
I think I found the car. Well, what gives it away? There's a bull riding shotgun.
Chief, we can't find the car. Chief, we can't find. There's so many people traveling with their bulls today. We can't pinpoint it.
Oh God. It wouldn't go far without being noticed for sure. Fuck my life.
Really. I think that may be on account of the bull and the fact that it doesn't have half its windscreen.
Oh, Jesus.
Honest to
Christ.
God.
Fucking bonkers, man.
This
This is
world,
crazy.
that country, how that country just works day to day, right? I was reading the other day, I finished is it there? I don't know where it is. Finished a book, right? And it was called Peril, and it's very, very good. And it's about Biden and Trump and how all that happened, right? And do you remember when Joe Biden fell up the stairs to
Oh,
Air
yeah.
Force One, right?
Yeah.
So everyone saw him fall up the stairs, but whoever was writing this book was on the plane.
Right.
So when he fell up the stairs and he got in the plane, he then spent half an hour walking from front to back, shouting the word fuck. Joe
What
Biden.
Oh,
Fuck, fuck, fuck.
no, but didn't it fall onto the stage as well? A couple of weeks ago, there was
There are
that thing and it falling up the
multiple
stairs.
times where that man has forgotten that he's got legs. He fell up the stairs on Air Force One, not once, but twice in the same moment. He
Yeah.
fell up the stairs once, got up, sorted himself out, started walking up the stairs again, and then fell again.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Right.
Did you see the guy that was in the middle of the interview and just like stood there for about 10 minutes and was just like,
Yeah.
Like, hey, Mr. Senator, do you know the question's been asked? Are you okay? I think we're gonna have to take a moment.
But Hillary Clinton used to do the same thing. When she
Yeah,
was
but
up
she's got
against whoever she was up against way back when.
many people.
Many people. She'd just get halfway through an interview and just stand there like that. Like just dead silence, and you're like, come on. Someone needs to kick her back to life.
Well, a final thing from me, talking about people that are stood in silence doing nothing. Police have issued a warning in North Wales, in the area of Broughton, which is in Flintshire. Police have issued a warning about Christmas gnomes that have been left in people's gardens.
It's September. Surely we're not getting into Christmas shit yet. Past Halloween, fine.
Oh, I mentioned the Christmas word the other day, and it really freaked me out. But yeah, no. Basically, if you
Christmas.
have if you have a Christmas gnome being left in your garden, remove it because it's similar to that thing of the X on the on people's gates or something like that, or something being left. Yeah, not about dogs, because that was about dogs wanting people stealing dogs. But this is about if your gnome don't get removed from the front garden, that the property is likely to be empty, and burglars could view it as an easy target.
It's like, when you leave the house, right, and people are like, "Oh, leave the lights on," so that
Yeah,
people think we're in. So
leave the landing light on.
if you're doing that every night, you're just making it easier for potential burglars to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or like leave the radio on. What do they think
What
that
was it?
Chris Moyles is in your kitchen?
It was Lee Evans when he did one of his gigs, and he's like, if they can't see that the landing lights on, and they end up breaking into this house and there's no lights on, and they go upstairs and they go, "Fuck, there's someone here because the landing lights on. Shit, we need to go."
Oh,
The advice that Wales police have handed out is that for residents to include keeping their properties visible so that burglars have nowhere to hide.
keeping their properties visible. Yeah, you take that camouflage off your house. Take
Yeah.
all that invisibility cloak off off your gaff.
And as we were talking about earlier, the cost of living crisis, installed CCTV and alarm systems, as well as internal and external lighting. It's also advised to help further protect properties.
Right. I mean, I've seen I can make the case for like Ring doorbells and stuff because they're good. Like they can detect motion at your front door and stuff.
Yeah, they make really good content for Saturday night takeaway as well.
Yeah, really good. They've really
Can
changed the
you
sort of.
find a bag of M&Ms? Oh, I've got him! I've got him! I've got him! Yeah! What's the phrase that they say? Ring, ring! Someone's knocking at your door, or something like that.
Yeah, really good. It's like that's our street. That's our street. Run, run, run. That sort of shit. Really good Saturday night content, but also great content for like. Are you? I don't know if you're in any like community Facebook groups.
Yeah, a couple.
They are a gold mine for fucking fly. They're like a gold mine for that sort of thing. It's like careful guys, two dodgy geezers walking down Clybourne Drive, 7:35 this evening. And it's just two people walking past the Ring doorbell, just probably going to the shop or something. Two dodgy, it looks like he's in a baseball cap, all dark clothing. He's not in all dark clothing. Your Ring doorbell's in night vision mode.
I'd seen it the other day. I think I got it suggested from another page, and there was one of those speed camera vans in the background of the photo, and someone had posted a photo on saying, "Oh, just thought I would share my photos on this beautiful afternoon on Claiborne Drive. Look how amazing they look." And everyone in the comments is like, "Thanks for letting me know there's a speed camera van there." It was amazing. It was funny. It was brilliant. Oh god.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know why that name popped into. I don't know why Claiborne Drive popped into my head, but it's.
I was gonna say something else, but you said Claiborne Drive, so I thought I'd run with it.
I don't even know where it is. I'm currently trying to find out where it is, but it's in. I think it's in Illinois in the USA. So if you live on Claiborne Drive, hi. Oh no, it's in Indianapolis.
Have you seen what that road behind South Yorkshire Police headquarters is called?
No.
It's called Let's Be Avenue.
That's good. That's good.
Let's Be Avenue.
Hello, drive. Hello. What's all this then? Well, the final thing from me today, right? Do you know that at the end of their whatever they do, the prime ministers get a portrait
All right.
of themselves put up in the House of Commons?
Oh.
Have you seen Theresa May's?
Nope.
It was done this week. It's been painted by Syed Dai. DAI. Yeah, look at the state of her.
That's like the Cristiano Ronaldo trophy.
Yeah.
Statue at the outside.
Outside of the airport in Madeira.
That's amazing.
Look what they've done to her. The eyes, look at the eyes, the different sizes.
Have you seen how much it cost?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so the painting itself cost £28,000. And Theresa May has said that it's a huge honour, right? But the guy himself, who clearly knows it's shit, was like, in this portrait, the aim was to produce not just a convincing physical likeness, which he hasn't done, but also a psychological characterization, both individual and yet archetypal, imbued with symbolism and atmosphere. A
I'm
good
glad you read
painting
that.
needs to be a revelation and also paradoxically an enigma. It should possess an indefinable quality. That indefinable quality being, I don't know who this woman is, but it isn't Theresa May.
In short, a mystery.
It's a mystery, wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a wheat field, wrapped in a prime minister.
Mrs. May, who was the MP for Maidenhead, has been described as well-devoted parliamentarian and dedicated public servant by fellow Conservative MP Dean Russell.
The hand, one's there and one's down like that.
The Parliamentary Art Collection records those who have made an important contribution to politics and public services here in the UK. Few embody this more than Theresa May, our second female Prime Minister. Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah. Nice one, Theresa.
Fuck my life. Right,
Unbelievable.
so when are we getting this portrait of Vladimir Putin then?
I hope he does it.
He's made an important contribution to the United Kingdom, hasn't he?
I hope Syed Dai does it, and then you'll find out that he fell out of a window 2 weeks later or something like that.
Oh, plane blows up. Oh, yeah, that's what we've not spoken about. The first episode we made was all about Pogroshin and stuff like that. And then by episode 5, he's fucking dead. What? Who would have thought it?
I'm claiming that as a personal victory for the Bedlam podcast.
I mean, he must have been listening to the podcast because we did warn him not to stand next to windows, and he did.
What
He
we
didn't
didn't
stand
do
next to
was
any
warn
open
him.
windows.
What we didn't do was warn him not to take domestic flights inside Europe or inside Russia, for example.
Yeah. Oh, fuck my life. Well, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's mad.
But hey, Pogroshin's plane's come down. They know where it is, obviously, but they might have found MH17. No, 70. That plane
Right,
went
brilliant.
down like nearly 10 years ago.
It's
No.
only taken, what, is that 10 years?
No, I think it was 27. What? Hang on. I think I'm wrong. What MH17?
370, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Malaysian flight 370. 2014. Yeah, 9 years and 5 months ago.
I'm so old.
I know.
Oh, I'm sick of this.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
Well,
Did you see it? Did you see the article that someone goes, "Oh, I think I found flight MH370 on Google Maps," and then he zoomed right into it, and all you can see is like a little speck, and go, "Yeah, that's it.
that's the one.
Brilliant,
Playing wow, brilliant, well done.
fantastic."
Millions of pounds spent on search efforts, but no, this geezer's found it on Google Maps.
Oh, it's crazy. But do you know when you're like scrolling through TikTok and stuff like that, and you see like people, you get like random text messages and stuff like that. Well, this guy claims that he's getting random voice messages and text messages from the black box of flight MH370.
Like they send out messages to people.
Yeah,
Dear
it's
Dave,
crazy.
I'm in the sea. Please help. Been here
Yeah.
for 9 years. I'm now a mermaid.
But the voicemail said something. It was just like giving out numbers, and I think the guy that was claimed that he'd been contacted by the plane was like, "I think this is the coordinates for the plane," and went and sort of tried to have a look, but couldn't see anything.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers.
Unbelievable.
I think we've spoke enough shit this episode, Callum.
I think we have, in an episode where we've had Keegan and crumbling concrete and gnomes and all sorts of other shit. I think we've covered everything from gnomes to Greenwood. And yes, there is a G in gnomes.
They may be crumbling concrete in the schools, but as this podcast is not crumbling.
This podcast is built from strong foundations.
So if you've randomly found this podcast either on Spotify or on YouTube, hi, welcome. There is another 5 episodes for you to listen to. Well, 4 if you're talking about Spotify, because
Matt.
we couldn't be bothered to re-upload it.
It was Martin. Keep up with if we're gonna tell lies, you gotta keep up with the lie.
But yeah, no intern today, so
She's gone. She's gone. Not forever,
intern's
but
gone.
for today.
CEO's enjoying the podcast as well as. But yeah, if you
All
want
the other
to,
overheads that we've got that we can't talk about.
if you want to give us a like, you can head over to the Facebook page Bedlam with Tom and Cal, or you can head over to Instagram, drop us a follow, send us a cheeky little message. We'll reply to it because we've got no fucking better to do. Bedlam YT, and that's also what the YouTube is as well. And if you're going, oh, Spotify, you're on Spotify, yeah, it's called the Bedlam Podcast. You found us, so go find us on there. You know, subscribe, follow, however you want to do. Come say hi, because we'll say hi back.
We will. And always remember, we are the only podcast to be entirely funded by the state of Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.